All right, welcome back everyone to PSGL. We are back for the Dutch Grand Prix. This is round 9 of season 30 here in the PlayStation division. This is F8 as you join us with 17 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. We're about to get the qualifying underway here at the Zandvoort circuit in the Netherlands. So we were in Belgium last time out, and we're heading to the neighboring country in the Netherlands for the Dutch Grand Prix. Super excited to get the race underway here in the Netherlands, with a lot of drivers on the grid actually being from the Netherlands. So this will be their home Grand Prix as well, so they'll be looking to get a good result in their home race. But let's talk about this track before we get into the racing here today in PSGL's Season 30 event. This is the Zandvoort circuit. It's got 15 turns to make up the circuit length of 4.2 kilometers. That's 2.6 miles long. And there's also 2 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking for a round here. One down the pit straight and one on the straight that the Red Bull driver that we're on board with right now, down to this particular turn, which is very, very difficult to master. But basically the only place to make an overtake is going to be down the pit straight, but there is that second DRS zone in case a driver has the opportunity to maybe send it down the inside into that really, really tricky turn 12. Alright, so we're getting ready for the Grand Prix here today in PSGL. As I said, we're back with the F8 division here in the PlayStation divisions of PSGL. This is a Monday, and we have 16 drivers on the grid. If you're wondering who I am, well, I'm Foreman Legiona, your commentator, and your host for today's stream of the PSGL F8 Championship. We are heading into the final few rounds of Season 30. The championship is going down. We got to start talking about who is going to be in contention for that World Championship here in Season 30 of F8. But currently we got around 15 minutes remaining of the session, and before these drivers set some quick lap times, we're seeing a few drivers on some laps who are actually on board with the Red Bull of Hyped as he comes through turn 11, heading down to that second DRS zone. But while these drivers are on laps, I quickly want to mention, if you all are new to the PSGL YouTube channel, please make sure to subscribe to see more PSGL content like this division and some other divisions that are streaming as well as we are currently speaking. So definitely subscribe to see more PSGL content. It is an amazing league. Also, if you're enjoying the commentary, smash the like button as well. That would be very much appreciated to me. And send in some comments on your thoughts for the upcoming Grand Prix. Hyped is the first driver to set a lap time. It is a 1:11.0 as Giro goes faster by 0.5 of a second and goes first with a 1:10.5. As there goes El Piloter in the Williams. El Piloter is in that battle for the championship as well. Keep an eye on the Williams driver as he's going to be looking to get some good points. He missed out on the race in Belgium, of course, which is unfortunate to see, but he's back here in the Netherlands, so we'll be hoping to he'll be hoping to get some good results here today in the Netherlands. His teammate Slash has just gone on to provisional pole with a 1:20.0, 0.2 faster than Aussie's lap time in the AlphaTauri. So let's see if the Williams will be getting a good result here today. As I did mention, El Piloter is in that fight for the championship. Ruben is also in that fight for the championship. Keep an eye on the Red Bull driver throughout this race and the future races as well. We'll definitely be seeing a very titanic fight for the championship in PSGL's F8 division. But anyone else on a current lap time? Let's find out. I think Ruben is purple in the second sector. So let's see if Ruben is going to be able to get a good lap here as he gets a little bit too much oversteer on the exit of that particular corner, but it is all good as he comes down into the final few corners. Don't put ERS on this corner as you can spin off very easily if you have the ERS as Ruben is coming to the line. Now it is going to be third fastest for the Red Bull driver. He is ahead of his championship contender as Robin West now goes third fastest, just a 10th behind Aussie, as these lap times are coming in pretty fast. Actually, from 5th all the way down to 8th, they're all in the 1:10.5s, and it's all those 4 drivers right there are just separated by a few 100ths of a second. Absolutely incredible to see. And the previous qualifying sessions we have seen in F8 have been insanely close, and that is why this division is super, super interesting to watch. So Slash has the current pole position time right now. If he keeps that lap time, if these drivers do not improve, then Slash will be on pole. But I got a feeling that these drivers are going to be improving. We are only 12 minutes into this session, as we still have a long way to go. And the thing is, guys, is that this track, and like many other tracks, the tires need to heat up. And the track needs to heat up. You know, that's how this kind of works. The track needs to heat up. This is just kind of their banker lap times. So we're going to be seeing some faster lap times, and usually drivers go for, I'd say, maybe 3 laps in their qualifying session. Usually their first lap is their banker lap time. Their second lap is, I'd say, maybe the lap where they're pushing a lot more, and then that final lap, of course, is pushing for pole position and the ultimate final lap to secure their result into the upcoming Grand Prix. So a few drivers come into the pit lane. They're getting ready to set a new tire compound on their car, as we have I think Mercedes pulling out. I think that might be Jordy or Clem, not exactly sure. As Julio's purple in the second sector. Can the Ferrari driver go fastest overall? Let's find out. The Alpine gets out of the way, thankfully, so that's good. As Julio will come around the final turn now. And, yeah, you want to make sure you don't put overtake on that particular section, as you can spin off very easily. Julio goes P10, so maybe he lost a little bit of time in Sector 3. Or maybe the game was just glitching there in Sector 2, not exactly sure, but Julio does put it up into the top 10, and another driver into the 110.5s. That is absolutely incredible. So from 7th down to 10th, we have drivers in the 110.5s. Very, very interesting to see how that is going to unfold in today's particular session, if those drivers are going to be able to improve, or will it be just separating by a few 1,000ths of a second. Look at Chris and El Piloter. Both drivers are separated by around 4 1,000ths of a second. That is absolutely incredible. And it just shows how close this tier really is. By the way, in terms of the championship standings, you're probably wondering what points are what the points are kind of like. I'll let you know on that in a bit. But currently, we got a lot of action out on track, and I want to talk about a few things first before we get into that. And one thing I do want to mention, as we have Jordy purple in the first sector. Actually, we're gonna ride on board with Jordy. I'll get into what I was gonna say in a bit. And he's flying right now. Jordy needs a good lap time here. So we'll see what he can do, as we have, I do believe, Shizmos that's just gone P6 in the Alpine. I do believe he's reserving for Mats, who is unfortunately not able to make the Grand Prix today. But Jordy purple in the second sector now. Jordy's absolutely flying out there. And we were thinking, maybe could Jordy come in and possibly fight for that championship? He came in to Hungary. That was his first race, and I do believe that was like 3 or 4 races ago. And he's already in contention for the championship, but he needs good points today. So Jordy to the line. What is the lap going to be? It is going to be P2. Only a 10th behind Slash, and he was purple in the third sector, but somewhere on his lap he did lose a 10th or something like that, because Slash is still fastest. So wow, absolutely incredible. Jordy second fastest, and he does put it ahead of Giro by a few 100ths of a second. By 4 100ths of a second, actually, as Jordy goes into the top 2 in today's races. We see the Aston Martin spinning off there. I think that's Robin West. That's another corner to watch out for. And since Robin did spin, this gives us a great opportunity to talk about the particular corners that we're going to be looking at today. Because if you guys have driven this circuit or watched this circuit, watched a Grand Prix at the circuit, you know that this circuit is quite difficult to master. It is still a newer circuit on the F1 calendar. It is, I think I do believe it came into the F1 game in 2020. It unfortunately got canceled due to the pandemic in 2020 in the real F1 Grand Prix. So drivers still have had a little bit of time to practice it, but it is a very difficult circuit to master. And I think Turn 9 is going to be a particular corner where we're going to be watching out for spins and stuff like that. Also, the exit of Turn 4 at that banked corner. Watch out for drivers putting it too much on the power there and spinning off like Robin did at that particular corner. So watch out for Turn 4 and then also Turn 9, and we'll get some visuals of that in just a bit. But those are just 2 corners out of a multitude of corners on the track that are going to be I'd like to call them spinning corners, I guess, because drivers spin off very easily. And I mentioned this a few times, that final corner, if you put on overtake at that banked corner, it can be very difficult to control the car, and ultimately a lot of drivers will spin at that particular session. So Slash is going for a lap. Let's take it on board with the Williams driver as he's about to start his lap time. Down to turn 1, you're going to brake maybe right before that 50-meter mark. It depends on your braking zones. As you come out of turn 1, you're going to want to get a really good exit. Don't get on those curbs too much, as you can spin off very easily into a downhill, into a banked corner. Turn 4, if you get too much on the power, you spin off very easily. That's that particular corner I was talking about. Into the S's, the very, very fast S's. Don't get too much on the curbs. And it looks like Slash is either backed off or... because it seems like he's down on power. I think he has backed off there. I'm not exactly sure, though. Unless this is just a very consistent lap. No, he's backed off. He's definitely backed off because he's shifting up there. So he's going to have to go for another one. I'm not exactly sure why he backed off. Maybe he thought that one corner was not the best corner, and he's going to have to go again. But it's all good. He will go again and get another lap in. Alrighty, and a few drivers are out on track, but the majority is mostly in the pit lane. As we have Slash coming around the final corner, most likely going to set another lap time unless he's coming into the pit lane, and he is coming into the pit lane, so he believes that that lap maybe messed up his tires or something like that, and he's deciding to come into the pit lane and review the data and go out again for one final push lap. So we'll see how it goes with the Williams driver. He needs a good lap, though, to be able to keep pole position today, because he's got a lot of competition out there. Jordy going for another lap. Keep an eye on him. Giro as well in the Alfa Romeo in P4. And he's actually purple in the second sector. Watch out for Giro. He might be going fastest overall. Let's find out. So around the final... Oh, and he's backed off. He's backed off. I wonder if that was... I'm not sure why he's backed off. That's another driver that has backed off out of that particular lap. Slash was the first. Giro was the second. Surprising. But that's that. And also, I didn't mention this, but Jarno did go into P2. So that was a very good lap time from Jarno. Looking forward to seeing if he'll be able to qualify maybe in the top 2, maybe top 5. Hopefully, he'll be able to qualify in the top 5. We want to see Jarno do good. And he's also has a chance of being the champion here in F8. So we'll see what he can do. Alrighty, so we have Aussie on a lap as well. Nick Kenshin in the Alpine in P6. Let's see what he can do. And that Ferrari, I think of Wagon, I do believe, is coming into the pit lane. A lot of drivers coming into the pit lane. So we'll see what they can do. I think Jordy is about to set another lap time here. He's already gone into the 110.0s, just a few 100ths of a second off of Slash's lap time. And he's going to try and go for another lap, looking to improve on that particular time, maybe dipping it into the 109s, which would be great to see. And this tier is very competitive, remember, so these drivers will be looking to get into the 109s. We have only just started to get into the quicker times, I would say, as these drivers will be looking to set better lap times at this particular stage in the Grand Prix, or in this qualifying session, to set a lap time for the results of the race itself. So we'll find out how that all works out, but it looks like Slash, Giro on out laps. Jordy did, I think, messed up or something like that, but either way, I think he was already on a cool down lap, so he's going to go for another lap. Jarno on an out lap as well, so a few drivers going in for a out lap, and they'll be looking to set their final lap time in this session. Let's find out what they can do. And Jordy's decided to pit, actually, so he is not going to be continuing on with that lap. I wonder if he's going to have enough time to to pit, review the data, get another tire compound, go out again, and then set another lap time. I think he should have enough time, but it could be close to him not making it through and setting a decent lap time. We'll see how that all works out. But anyway, moving forward, it looks like Jarno is about to begin his lap in a bit. Slash is actually the next driver to start his lap time. So let's ride on board with the Williams driver. That previous lap didn't really work out for Slash. So down into turn 1, we're going to head into that very, very difficult turn 1, as you don't want to get too much on the power. You can spin off very easily. A lot of corners like that at this particular track. Into turn 4, into a downhill section, into the banked corner. Another part of the track where you don't want to get too much on the power, and you can spin the car off very easily. Into the S's, the fast S's, up to around 7th, maybe 8th gear. A very, very difficult corner right here. Turn 9, traction zone as well. Don't hit the curb on the left. That can kind of stop your car from moving and put you in the gravel as you come down into, I'd say, a right, then a left. Coming down into turn 11, don't hit the curb on the left. It's kind of like turn 12 at the French Grand Prix. You don't want to hit that, as you can spin off very easily. DRS zone, a very short DRS zone. Once you see that curb, start braking as you head down into that really, really tight set of corners. Into a little bit of a straight as you come down into turn 15. Into 4th, maybe 5th gear, depends on your particular lap. Don't use overtake on the exit, as Slash is going to come to the line. Let's see what he can do. Can he improve on that time? Yes, he can, by 0.4 of a second. Slash absolutely aced that lap and went into the 109s by quite a ways to Jordy. A 109.617 is the lap time by the Williams driver. Jordy is on a out lap. Let's see what he can do. Also, Luca in the Alfa Romeo did go P4. It's great to see that from the Alfa Romeo driver, as I do believe Felix 1 isn't able to attend the Grand Prix, so Luca is in P4. Both Alphas in the top 5, looking really strong right now. So Slash has absolutely obliterated the competition and gone into the 109.6s. Jarno has now gone into the 109s, but it is only a 109.8, 0.2 off of Slash's lap time. That's it for Jarno. He is not continuing on with his lap. He's going to be staying P2 at best in this particular session. Jordy now going out for another lap. Let's see what he can do. He's currently got a 110.0. He's got 50 seconds to spare, but that doesn't really matter because he's going out for another lap. He has to ace this, though, if he's able to take the challenge to Slash and take pole position here in the Netherlands. And Robin West has retired. He is not continuing on with his lap. LP Lothar in the Williams is going to set another lap time, but no, he's coming into the pit lane. The 2 Alphas on laps as well. Giro now coming into the pit lane. He is not improving on that particular time. Luca, the same situation, as I do believe we are now just waiting for Jordy, who seems to be going through Sector 2. No purple sectors, entering Sector 3, a little bit too much on the curb there. I don't know if it's going to be pole position for Jordy, but anything can happen here in the final moments of qualifying. Here in the Netherlands, he is the final driver to come to the lap and set a good lap time here. Slash on provisional pole. Can Jordy take it away? No, he cannot. He does improve on his time, but he doesn't improve on his position. It is only P3 for the Mercedes driver. I think he made a little bit of a mistake at the exit of turn 12, but Jordy only P3 on the grid. Jarno stays second position, and I do believe that is the end of qualifying, and I do believe it is Slash on pole here in the Netherlands with a very, very commanding lap time by 0.2 to Jarno in the McLaren, followed by Jordy just 0.2 behind Jarno. Alrighty, so we are just waiting for the drivers to finish up their lap time. As Slash qualifies on pole, his teammate LP Lothar is down in P10. Unfortunately, he is unable to set a good enough lap time to get into the top 5, which is going to hurt his pace for the championship as well. His championship contenders are up in the top 5. Ruben, P4. Jarno, I do believe, is also in the hunt for the championship. He is currently P2. So not a good day for El Piloter, but hopefully he'll be able to turn it around in the Grand Prix itself. Chris starting P11. It's a great position for him. You want to start P11 for around here if you're going to be starting in the bottom 10, as that is going to allow you to pick whatever tire you choose, and that'll give you a little bit of an advantage in terms of tire degradation, in terms of the other drivers having more degradation on their tires. That'll help whoever's in P11. So that's the results for the qualifying session. Slash is on pole here for the Dutch Grand Prix. His time was a 109.617. Jarno is P2 for McLaren, followed by Jordi Buxtel in the Mercedes in P3. Ruben is P4, the championship contender, getting up into the top 4, looking really strong, with Luca ahead of Giro. And I do believe Luca is a reserve driver for Alpha, because I do believe Felix 1 has that Alpha seat. So very impressive stuff from the Alfa Romeo reserve driver. Giro's P6, and that mainly concludes those top 5 drivers. But that's the results for the Dutch Grand Prix. We head into the race now, and a big talking point that we definitely have to talk about is the strategy itself. Now, strategy is a key position in today's race and for all Formula 1 races, and yeah, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on strategy. You may be wondering, what is the strategy for around here? Well, let's first start off with the degradation. The tires do not degrade too much, and that's the interesting thing for around here, is that tires do not degrade too much. And another great thing is that all 3 tires work really well for around here. So drivers are going to be probably suggested to take the soft hard strategy. That is mainly the best strategy, but there is also a possibility of drivers going soft medium, but you have to take those softs for a long time. Usually when you pit for around here, you want to pit around a lap 11, lap 12 if you're on the soft compound tires, of course, and most of these drivers will be, and so you want to pit around lap 11 or lap 12, but I could see some drivers that maybe start on fresher tires, trying to go longer and trying to go for the medium compound tires. So I'm interested to see what's going to be happening in this race. 36 laps await us for the Dutch Grand Prix here in the Netherlands for round 9 of PSGL of the F8 Championship. So much exciting action to happen here today in PSGL. We're just waiting for those drivers to start the formation lap, and then we're going to get the racing underway. Alrighty, so we have the drivers out on their formation lap, and then we're going to get the 36 laps underway. Safety cars could come out as well. Watch out for those, as it is a very difficult circuit to master, as I did mention in qualifying, and these drivers will look to be very consistent with their lap times. So yeah, definitely keep an eye on that. Also, it is kind of cloudy out there. I have seen some races here in the Netherlands where it does look like this, but there's no rain. But I'm just saying, there is a possibility of rain, so keep an eye on that as well. There is definitely a possibility for that, so we'll keep an eye on the forecast. But it looks like Clem has left the session. Not exactly sure what happened there. Yeah, hopefully he rejoins the session. He's currently in P14, so he's going to be looking to improve on, or get back into the session and looking to get up into the top 10 in today's race. But let's look at the rundown of the grid for today's Grand Prix. Slash is on pole for Williams. A great result by him in qualifying. He had a really good lap. A 109.6 was his lap time in qualifying. The question now is, can he continue to lead this Grand Prix? Jarno is in P2 for McLaren, rounding off the front 2 drivers of the grid. Looking down the rest of the grid at the second row of the grid, Jordi is in P3 for Mercedes, with Ruben in P4 for Red Bull Racing, with the 2 Alfa Romeos on the third row of the grid. Luca ahead of Giro. Robin West is P7 for Aston Martin, with Nick Kenshin, the pole sitter in Austria, in P8 for Alpine, with Aussie in P9 alongside El Piloter, who's in that hunt for the championship. Chris Hallett is going to be starting on the soft compound tires, maybe going for that soft and medium strategy that I mentioned. He's got Shizmals right behind him on the medium tires, with Julio, Clem, Wegan, and Hyped rounding off the grid for Red Bull Racing. Alrighty, so the drivers are ready to go. The formation lap is ended. We are ready to go for the Dutch Grand Prix. It's a short ways down to turn 1, but still anything can happen in today's Grand Prix. Let's find out what these drivers can do. We're just waiting for those fiber lights to go out here in the Netherlands. Alrighty, we are ready for the race. It's 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 lights, and it's 5 lights. And it's lights out for the Dutch Grand Prix. Slash gets away well. Jarno gets away well as well. But Jordy's trying to challenge the McLaren driver down to turn 1. It's a great start for the Dutch Grand Prix. A driver of Ruben is trying to make a move as well. I think there was contact between a few drivers. The Alfa Romeos are making up ground as well, as Slash has lost a lot of time. Jarno takes the lead of the Grand Prix with Jordy in P2, Slash in P3. And what a start to the Dutch Grand Prix, as Clem has now left the session. I think he's having internet issues or something like that, but Slash is in P3 now. He has lost time to his rivals. He is down to 3rd position. Jarno leads the way here at the Dutch Grand Prix. Hyped is also up to 12th position as well, as he's fighting away with Wagon in the Ferrari. And I think they're actually side by side coming down to turn 11. Hype gets ahead of the Ferrari, but besides that, not too many overtakes. El Piloter did get up into P8, so great start by him. Chris did not have a great start. He is down to P14 as we have the Red Bull and the Ferrari continuing their battle. Hype and Julio side by side. The Red Bull gets past the Ferrari there, and he will stay ahead for now. Great start by Hype and a great overtake as well. But up at the front, it is Jarno that leads us away as we enter lap 2. Jordy P2 by 7/10 of a second to the McLaren driver. Slash is P3 with Luca P4, Ruben P5. I think he tried to make a move on Slash, and maybe there was contact between the two drivers as both drivers lost positions there at the start. Giro stays in P6 with Robin still in P7, but they're going to be looking at Shizmos is out of the race. He's out of the Grand Prix. Something happened to him. No, he's actually just retired in the pit lane. Very surprising. Maybe he thinks that was it. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe he was just too far behind, too much damage. Possibly. I'm not exactly sure on that one, as his race will end today, unfortunately. But that is how it goes in racing. Sometimes he will come back stronger at the next one. So Jarno has 7/10 of a second to the Mercedes drivers. Oh, we have Luca spinning off there in the Alfa Romeo. At turn 11, the Alfa Romeo spins round. And that is the Alpha, who was up in the top 4 of today's race, is down to P13 now. He's lost a lot of positions and time as well, which is unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo driver, but hopefully he recovers from that setback. As we have Ruben and Robin side by side. Ruben going for the switchback maneuver. El Piloter trying to get in the action as well, as he is not going to overtake 1, but possibly 2. He's going to try and go around the outside. Robin defends, though, and keeps P5. Meanwhile, Ruben is into the pit lane on the medium compound tires, going possibly for a very early call on the strategy, or he had some sort of damage that impacted his race, and he had to pit, unfortunately. But whatever did happen, he is going to be down to P14, and he's going to be 8 seconds to Clem in that Mercedes in P13. But a great battle there for P5. We had Ruben and Robin side by side. Robin was looking to make that overtake on Ruben, I think. He eventually got it even before Ruben did come into the pit lane, as we have Hyped making another overtake on Aussie. Aussie trying to come back at him, coming down into turn 11. The AlphaTauri will be looking to get out that overtake on the Red Bull. Hyped keeps ahead, but is Aussie going to try and make that move? Doesn't look like it, because they all have DRS, and they're kind of forming a DRS train right now. But going back to the action, Jarno currently leads from Jordy in the Mercedes in P2, Slash in P3 for Williams, Giro P4 with Robin West in the Aston Martin, completing the top 5 as we enter lap 4 now. El Piloter up to P6, great start by him as well, as Robin West has now set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Robin absolutely flying right now. He's gotten a few podiums this season and looking to grab another one here at the Netherlands. And he's got Giro right ahead of him. And Robin's going to be looking to get the better exit, possibly trying to overtake Giro. And the great thing for Robin is that Giro is out of DRS range to Slash, so this will give up the opportunity to Robin for him to make that overtake and get up into the top 4 of today's race. So Jarno P1, Jordy P2, Slash P3, Giro P4, Robin West P5. That is the top 5 in today's race. We're kind of seeing a DRS train right now. That's kind of how it works until we get to the strategy game of today's race. Then the field kind of opens up and we get to see a little bit more overtakes in today's race. But we'll find out how that all works out in the future of this race. But Jarno hasn't gained a ton of time off of Jordy. In the last couple of laps, he has gained around 2/10 to the Mercedes driver. They are still kind of going back and forth in terms of one driver gaining time, then another driver gaining time. But yeah, I think that gap will still stay the same. Slash in P3 as well. Keep an eye on the Williams driver. He is only 8/10 behind Jordy, so he still is in contention for the race victories. Hype just left the session. I hope that's not an internet issue for the Red Bull drivers. He was doing so well. He's up to P8, now down to P9, most likely due to him leaving the session and his AI taking control. And Aussie, of course, is not an AI driver, so he'll be going past that Red Bull. And Aussie running a good race right now. He's in P8. He's right behind Nick Kenshin, looking to get up into the top 7 of today's Grand Prix. And Nick also having a good race as well. Alpine needs some good points in today's race, and this is where drivers have to make sure they get some really good points starting basically now, as the championship is going to start to take form, I would say, as Aussie goes purple in the second sector. And Aussie possibly setting the fastest lap. Let's find out. I think Rob and West might have an opportunity, though, to try and make that overtake on Giro. Let's find out. As the Aston Martin comes down to turn 1, DRS enabled. Aussie does set the fastest lap of the race, as Robin right on the back of Giro right now. He's looking to get the better exit out of turn 1. Unfortunately, does not. He does get a good exit, but doesn't get the position off of the Alfa Romeo driver ahead of him. Giro keeps P4, and what Giro needs to do is defend, and that's a very crucial thing in today's race for all drivers. Defending is key, because if one driver can't really get past into that DRS zone at the pit straight, then it's going to be really hard for them to make an overtake in another part of the track. As Robin looking for the overtake, he's right in the back. He's going to send it down the inside into this particular corner. The Aston gets ahead, and that was a very good overtake from Robin. He saw the opportunity and absolutely went for it. That was a really good move from Robin there. Very, very well calculated, and he got that position fair and square. He moves himself up into P4. Giro maybe starting to struggle on these tires. Not exactly sure, as he lost a little bit of time to Robin and is now under pressure from El Piloter in that Williams. And it looks like Luca has now got passed into P11. Because Hyped is still, unfortunately, not in the session, and he's currently in AI mode. Giro has got DRS off of Robin, but El Piloter's looking for the move. He's looking to go around the outside of the Alfa Romeo, maybe going for a switchback maneuver. Let's find out. He is side by side with Giro there, but unfortunately had to back off. There was not enough space there, not enough traction out of that particular corner. But he is right on the back of Giro. Is he going to go for a move? He is. I think he's going to go for it. No, he looked for it, but he didn't go for it. Smart decision from the Williams driver. I think there's just not enough room to go side by side at turn 9, especially since the corner is kind of angled that way where you can't really go side by side. It really only fits one driver into that particular corner. One car can really only go through there. It's kind of difficult to get completely right, but it's how it goes. I have seen a few drivers go side by side through there, but it is a very, very difficult corner to get right. It's kind of the equivalent of driving side by side at Monaco into like the tunnel section. I mean, it's a little bit wider than that, but anyway, getting back to the action now. Robin has around a 9/10 gap to Giro. He's pulled off a really nice gap as we have Slash going for the move on Jordy. DRS enabled for the Williams. He gets past, and that should be a pretty easy overtake for the Williams. He gets himself up into second position and now has to start chasing down Jarno. And that Williams just seems to have a lot more straight line speed than the Mercedes. It's probably down to DRS, but also it seems like he has a little bit more of a lesser downforce on the car. As Hyped has finally rejoined the session, that's great news. He will get back in his car. He's going to be further down the grid than he would have liked, of course, but he is back in the Grand Prix, so that's good news. As we have Luca on Julio, I think that's a nice battle we're watching right now. The soft tires still faster than the mediums, remember. Julio's tires are going to be not as quick as the Alfa Romeo's tires. And Luca's going to be looking to go for that move, possibly into the DRS zone here, right on board with the Alfa Romeo. Julio goes a little bit wide. Luca gets the better traction using DRS, and Julio's going to let him pass. He is going to let him pass there. And that's surprising. I wonder if if that was maybe to get to DRS on the second DRS straight or the first on the pit straight. I'm not exactly sure. But going back to the front runners now, we are kind of seeing a DRS train really right now. I think we're just waiting for a few drivers to come into the pit lane. It's really Slash down to Aussie in that AlphaTauri in P8. Jarno has really got a gap. He has really broken that gap to the rest of the field. 1.8 seconds. Of course, he probably wants to get a better gap than that, like around 3 seconds or something like that. But yeah, he's in a comfortable zone right now. I think Jarno's pulling off some really, really good consistency right now. And if he keeps this up, he'll be grabbing his second win of the season. I do believe he won the Hungarian Grand Prix, if memory serves correct. But yeah, Jarno looking really strong right now in that McLaren. He had a great start, got past Slash in that Williams, and is now up into P1 and leading the way. So I think our closest battle might be Nick Kenshin. Oh, we do have a Red Bull off the track. That is hyped. Red Bull have really not had a great race today. Hyped and Ruben down to P13 and P14. Ruben had to pit. Not sure why exactly. I still don't know why he had to pit. Hyped, unfortunately, had that internet connection issue, it seems, and then he had that spin just a few moments ago, which of course will not help him out. But Red Bull not really running the greatest race in today's race, but hopefully they can recover. Maybe if a safety car comes out, or just down to pure consistency. We'll see. Alrighty, so I think we're just waiting for a few drivers to come into the pit lane. We are now on lap 10. I expect a few drivers maybe to go to the undercut strategy. Undercut works pretty well for around here. So we could see a driver possibly going for the undercut. Maybe like Robin or Jordy. We know that they're right behind Slash. Maybe one of them could go for an undercut to try and get ahead of Slash. We'll see how this all works out. Usually drivers pit around lap 11 or lap 12, unless they want to go for the mediums, and usually they stretch those tires for a little bit longer, as no one seems to be coming into the pit lane quite yet, and I've got the feeling that they are going longer on these tires, and they're trying to go for the medium stint, because usually they would pit around lap 10 or lap 11 for the hards. We'll find out more information on this lap, but let's see how this works out. So Jarno still has that 2-second gap almost to Slash in the Williams. And there's not too many overtakes, I want to say. This is actually a good opportunity to talk about the championship as well, as we have a lot of drivers in the hunt for the championship. So I do want to talk about that as well. So let me pull up the championship standings so we can get all that information to you guys, because of course it is round 9 and we just have a few more rounds of the season. I do believe we have 15 rounds in the PSGL season, so we're heading to the end of season 30. It truly has been an amazing season. We still have a long ways to go in this championship and in this season as well. A lot of breakthrough moments this season as well, so we'll see how it all works out, but a lot of stuff to come, as Jarno comes into the pit lane for McLaren. And El Piloter and Aussie as well, also into the pit lane. All three drivers into the pits on lap 12 at the end of lap 11. As these drivers will be heading out of the pit lane. Now Jarno should come out ahead of Clem, maybe right behind. It depends how this particular corner works out. I think Clem is just going to get ahead of the McLaren driver. And that's not going to help out Jarno, as he's going to be blocked by that Mercedes driver, and you do not want to be blocked for around here. You're going to lose a lot of time. So this is good news for Slash and Jordy and Robin and all those other drivers, as Hype now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That is great news as well for the Red Bull driver. And I guess while we have that chance, we can talk about the championship as well. We have a lot of drivers in that hunt for the championship. And I'm just trying to pull up the standings here. Here we go. El Piloto still leads the way. And then we got Ruben in P2, Yarno P3. So Yarno in that hunt for the championship still. And he's going to try and make that overtake on Clem. Let's see what he can do. Is he going to send it down the inside into the really, really tricky cornering system here, as Yarno will get ahead in P9. As Jordy, Robin, Slash, and Giro all... Oh, no, Jordy stays out. So Slash, Robin, and Giro come into the pit lane. So this is quite interesting. But yeah, El Piloto has that lead of the championship with 59 points to his name. And currently, Yarno could take the lead of the championship today. So this will be good news. But Yarno is going to come out in P6 ahead of Slash, Robin, and Giro. So that's really good news for Yarno. So that driver ahead, Clem, didn't hold him up too much. So that's good news for Yarno. And Clem, who's on the soft compound tires, is going to be under pressure from Slash in the Williams and El Piloto as well. El Piloto undercut really worked out for the Williams driver. Remember, he is in that hunt for the championship, currently leads his away, and he's got to make sure that he continues to lead the championship heading into the next round in Brazil. So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, Yarno in P6, Clem P7, Slash P8, El Piloto P9. Those are the drivers really in the hunt for the win. And we also have Jordy, who is most likely coming into the pit lane now. Let's find out. Yes, he is. He's coming into the pit lane now. And this has to be a really good stop for Mercedes here. Let's see. Nick Kenshin, meanwhile, gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. The Mercedes is going to come out. Where's Yarno? Where is Yarno? There's Yarno coming down the straight. Jordy is coming out now. There's Jordy. Yarno gets ahead. Will Slash get ahead of Jordy? Yes, Slash will get ahead of Jordy. Jordy comes out in P6 and splits the two Williams drivers. And meanwhile, Robin West is also looking for the move on El Piloto as well. The Aston Martin looking to get that overtake on the Williams as soon as possible. And Jordy's going to start chasing down Slash. Too, so watch out for that battle as well. But Robin right behind the Williams. Let's see if he's going to try and make that overtake. Oh, a little bit of contact with the two drivers there. Robin wants that overtake, and this is the battle for the podium, remember. I think currently it will be the battle for... This is currently the battle for fourth, actually. So one position. If Robin gets ahead of El Piloto, then he can start joining the fight for second between Slash and Jordy. Who are just up the road. You can see him on your screen now. So we'll see. We'll see if Robin's going to be in the hunt for the podium. I think he's definitely going to be there. The question is, it's just going to be a matter of time till he does be in that position. As Luca comes into the pit lane, he is the last of the soft runners to come into the pit lane. And now we just have the two Ferraris up front. And they will be going on to the softs, I do believe, in the next few laps. So they will be P1 and P2 for a bit, and then they'll come into the pit lane very soon. And meanwhile, Jordy and Slash having a great battle as well. Jordy trying to get into P4, and that Mercedes driver doing everything he can to try and get into a position where he can fight Yarno. And the great thing is for Jordy is that he has joined, I'd say just a few races ago, he is very close to getting in contention for that championship as well, which is great because he is actually, I'm trying to find him on the grid here. Oh, he's P14. I thought he was a lot higher than that. Huh. Well, he still is in contention for the championship, and he's definitely got the pace to do it, because the thing with this is that, to be honest, I actually thought he was higher than that, and I remember speaking with Jordy in the last race, and remember saying that he's got a chance, and we were both talking about that, and he definitely's got a chance. It's going to be quite difficult, but he's going to have the opportunity to do so, because he is on, I think, 24 points, and he's got around, I'd say, 30 points to first position or so, which is kind of a big gap. But at the same time, if he's able to grab, like, consistent second position, then he might be able to get the championship here. It's going to be really difficult, but we'll see what he can do. So, Slash in P4, 1.7 seconds to Julio. Yarno got past that Ferrari, and he's going to be moving him himself up to P2 and starting to chase after that Ferrari in the race lead. And he should be able to overtake that Ferrari very soon. He'll be within DRS range. Actually, now he should be within DRS range of that Ferrari, so he should be able to overtake the Ferrari of Wegen very soon, probably onto the second DRS straight. I don't know if I have enough time to overtake him on the main straight. But moving back to the battle for 6th as well, Robin West in that Aston Martin, very close to making an overtake on LP Lothar as well. He is gonna possibly make that overtake into... No, he's not gonna make it into the DRS zone. I was thinking maybe he was gonna make it into turn 1, but he was just a little bit too far behind that Williams to make the overtake. And Robin West needs some good points as well. He's not really in the fight for the championship right now, but he's definitely got the pace to be getting a win today, or not. Well, maybe today. He's got the chance for that, but definitely this season. He hasn't been able to get a win yet. He's gotten a few podiums as we have an Alpine off the track. I think that's Nick Kenshin in the Alpine spinning off there. He's got no front wing. Will that cause a virtual safety car? We have an Alpha off the track as well. I think that's Luca in the Alfa Romeo. Let's see what happened to him. Ooh, turn 9, I do believe that's where that's at. I told you guys towards qualifying that where was going. We're going to keep the cameras on turn 9. That is definitely a traction zone, and drivers will be spinning off there quite a bit. As we have the battle for first now, Jarno should get this overtake pretty easily, and it will be the McLaren moving up into first position. And Jarno will move up into first. Giro now sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. And we still have that battle for third. I think Slash got past. Oh, yellow flag. Giro, after setting fastest lap, has, I do believe, spun on the curb, or there was contact with another driver. I think he was in a battle of some sort, but he did move down to P9, unfortunately. That is incredibly unfortunate. Oh, no! Massive crash! Massive crash! Julio out of the race! Jordy off the track as well! I just got that at the final few seconds of that crash. Full course safety car is out, unsurprisingly, but Jordy and Julio have made contact. Massive crash! That was huge! That was huge. That was at turn 8, I do believe. Jarno has been given a drive-through penalty. Oh my goodness. The championship contender was all going so well. Drama on lap 18, contact with the Mercedes and the Ferrari, and now a drive-through penalty for the race leader. This is drama and devastation for Jarno now. I cannot believe this, as this race has truly unfolded itself. Jarno now has a drive-through penalty and is most likely not going to win this Grand Prix. Consistency was key, and unfortunately the safety car called out, and it was horrible. Absolutely horrible. Drama on lap 19 now. So a few drivers into the pit lane for the softs, including Jarno. Jarno will come into the pit lane, and he's going to be absolutely furious with that, I think. He was on for the race victory, and he's now going to have that drive-through penalty, and it's severely going to cost him. That is just heartbreaking. Absolutely heartbreaking for the McLaren driver. It was going all so well, but wow. Huge crash on lap 18. We were having a pretty consistent race. Not too many overtakes, not too much drama until lap 18. And then we got some drama with the Mercedes and Ferrari. Super sorry to see Julio out of the Grand Prix. He was running a great race, was definitely on for some great points. And Jordy as well. I don't know if he had damage due to that. Not exactly sure, but both drivers got into some sort of contact thing that happened there. That'll definitely be reviewed by the stewards. But wow, whoa, that was I'm actually speechless from that crash. So now what can we talk about, really? Trying to gather my thoughts after what was a pretty dramatic crash there. Well, actually, we can look at the grid and particularly the leaderboard. Williams are P1 and P2. That is looking really good. Slash started on pole. The championship leader, LP Lothar, is in P2. First and second are going really well in today's race. And if this continues, if this pace continues, if they continue to hold back Jordy, Giro, Jarno, all those other drivers, then Williams could be on for a 1-2 here in Netherlands, which would be pretty incredible. But they have some serious competition, and I want to talk about the two drivers in 5th and 6th position. Now, Jarno is in P5. We know Jarno's pace, but he's got that drive-through penalty, which is going to affect his race. And what this means is that once the safety car goes in, Jarno will have to pit and serve a drive-through penalty. And so that's going to severely hurt his race, drop him back all the way. So that means that he's not really in contention for the race victory anymore, which is incredibly unfortunate and heartbreaking for the McLaren driver. But another driver that is in contention for the race victory is Wegan in the Ferrari. I do believe he is reserved for Ferrari, and he is on the soft compound tires. The question is, will he be able to overtake on a track that we don't see overtaking that often, and will he be able to keep those softs going to the end of the race? He's got 16 laps to take those softs. That is a huge time to take those soft compound tires, because the thing is that softs don't really last more than 10 laps, until they start degrading quite a bit for around here. And so another 6 laps in the softs is going to be very difficult, and most likely the safety car is coming in this lap. So Wegan's got to make sure that he conserves those soft tires for, I'd say, maybe 3 to 4 laps, because usually you can take those softs around 12 laps until they severely get into the point where they're going to start dropping off and you start getting understeer and all that sort of thing. So it could be difficult, but we'll find out. All right, so Slash is going to lead us away. He's backing up the field, and the question is, where is he going to go? This is the first time we've had a safety car, so we don't really know what these drivers are thinking and when they are going to go. I would go on the entrance of this banked corner, because then those drivers can make little mistakes and stuff like that. That would, of course, help out Slash. Slash goes on the exit. And that was a pretty good start. It's actually a very good start for his teammate as well. LP Loter trying to go for the move on Slash. The two Williams possibly side by side down to turn 1. No, the top 3 stay the same and stay the same for quite a ways. Jarno trying to get up into P4 as well. Trying to get into the mix. As LP Loter and Slash trying to go side by side. Don't fight too much. You guys are teammates, remember. The golden number 1 rule is to not fight your teammate, and you got to make sure to also hold up the Mercedes and the Alpha right behind as well, because Jordy's right behind these guys, and this will help out Jordy, and he's on fresher tires than the top 2 drivers as well, so that'll help him out. As it looks like Ruben and Robin side by side. Ooh, that was very close to contact between the 2 drivers. You don't see a lot of overtakes at that particular section, but Robin and Ruben kept it going, and Robin will keep P8 away from Ruben. Ruben will try and find him, but will not, as Hype spins off there at turn 12, I do believe, or turn 11 actually. And the Red Bull driver's off the track, unfortunately, which will hurt his Grand Prix. And Jarno should be coming into the pit lane now to serve that drive-through penalty. And, oh, the Williams of LP Loter loses the car a little bit. He saved it, but that was so close to contact as Jarno heads into the pit lane as expected. He's going to be trundling down the field. I think he's going to come out in P14 as we have Jordy trying to make the move on LP Loter. He saw that the Williams made a little mistake, and now he's right in the back of LP Loter. He's looking for the overtake to the inside line. The Williams gets the better exit. A little bit of lag there. Not sure exactly what happened there, but yeah, Slash leads away by LP Loter. I think LP Loter had that little mistake at the exit of turn 15, I do believe. And he had that mistake, which lost him a little bit of time. The great thing is that he was able to defend against Jordy into turn 1, so Jordy didn't get that overtake. So that was good for LP Loter, and he's just got to make sure he keeps defending off of Jordy in that Mercedes. As we have Aussie and Wegan side by side, both drivers going into turn 12. The Ferrari keeps ahead of the AlphaTauri, and that's a good overtake for Wegan. He keeps defending very good there. And he got that good overtake as he comes through turn 15. Now we had a really good camera angle for a moment there. Unfortunately, it didn't last long. But not too many overtakes. I think Robin, possibly the closest driver to make an overtake. He's right in the back of Aussie, coming down to turn 1. We'll ride on board with the Aston Martin once again in today's race. We can see the battle going on up the field. It is truly exciting to watch. Meanwhile, Jarno, 4.6 seconds behind Hyped. He's trying to catch up to the field as soon as possible. It is not the end of the race for Jarno. He still has a long ways to go in today's Grand Prix, and he still has a chance of being up there and getting some really good points in today's race. So we'll see. Hopefully it'll be really good. As Aussie's looking for the move on the Ferrari coming down into turn 10. Wagon keeps ahead, though. They will have the DRS. Both will have the DRS down to turn 11 and turn 12. So we'll see if Aussie is going to try and make that overtake. No, he does not. Not enough space, not enough time to make that overtake. Meanwhile, Chris and Clem, side by side, a little bit of contact between the two as well. The Alpha of Luca trying to get involved in this battle as well. Nick Kenshin in this fight for P9. The Haas will keep ahead. Luca in P11, Hyped P12. Nick Kenshin P12. As here goes the Alpha of Luca. Side by side with the Haas coming down to turn 1. Meanwhile, we got El Piloto and Jordy side by side into turn 2 and 3 and 4. They're still side by side. Jordy going for the switchback maneuver on the Williams, but he does not get the head. El Piloto keeps ahead, and this is just great racing to watch between these two drivers. They will keep it going all the way to the final corner of today's race. Oh, Jordy spins. That's it. The Mercedes driver has spun on the exit of turn 9. I think he just spun it off there, and unfortunately Jordy is down the order. He's going to be overtaken by Jarno now. Jordy now last, as we have a great battle also for P4. It was going also well for the Mercedes driver, and now it is just not working out as we have Aussie trying to make the move. Oh, contact between the AlphaTauri and the Red Bull. Ruben into the back of the AlphaTauri. They're 3 wide. Also into the exit of turn 13. Oh, and that's a Mercedes out of the race. That is a Mercedes out of the race, and that could be a full core safety car. Yes, it is a full core safety car. As they were 3 wide, it just didn't really work out. It was a chain reaction there. This will really help out Jarno, though. This will be really good news for Jarno, as we have a few drivers into the pit lane. El Piloto, I do believe we've Robin and Luca also into the pit lane. All 3 into the pits onto these soft compound tires, I do believe. But this will help out Jarno. But wow. So on lap 25, or lap 24 actually, what happened there is I think Aussie and who was it? I want to say the Red Bull. I can't remember exactly. I can't remember who he was battling, but Aussie backed off of that overtake, and I think because he braked a little bit sooner, Ruben maybe didn't expect it, hit the back of the Williams, the back of the AlphaTauri, and that caused those cars to spin, sort of, and kind of go down the order, and then they kind of recover from that, but they rejoined in that battle that was already forming between a few drivers, and then it kind of just all went to just some craziness, you know, because drivers were at different positions, they were in different speeds and all that sort of thing, and it seems like it just didn't. Two overtaking battles kind of formed together, and it didn't really go well. That's kind of the basic terms I can kind of see, but I think Clem got involved in that, maybe hit another driver or vice versa. I'm not exactly sure there. Maybe had a spin on the exit of turn 13, I do believe. But either way, Clem is out of the race, which is incredibly unfortunate for him. He will come back stronger in Brazil, I expect. But yeah, that's that. That means a second safety car is now called out on track. Slash will lead away. Wegan in that Ferrari P2 now. So Wegan definitely going for the race victory here, and this would be great for Wegan to get into contention for the race victory. And this is also great news for Jarno. After that drive-through penalty, he gets another chance to fight for not just great points, but a podium and possibly even the win as well, because he's going to be on soft compound tires. So this will help him out. But I think the best driver that is on the best tires in the best position is El Piloto. The Williams driver P8 on the soft compound tires. He has won a race before in Saudi Arabia. 2 races ago, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, he could win another race today if he's able to overtake a few people. And the thing right now is overtaking is going to be crucial for those drivers, and this is just going to make the racing absolutely amazing to watch, because you don't see too many overtakes for around here, so that means drivers could be risking it into certain corners. So either way, it's going to be good. We're going to see some overtakes. 10 laps to go, a shootout to the end. Slash currently leads the Grand Prix. A championship battle between El Piloter and Jarno as well. Ruben in that fight for the championship. Those three are mainly in the fight. Chris Hallett also in the fight for the championship as well. I do believe he's P4 in the championship. So all the championship contenders are here, and they're all coming through the field as the safety car goes in this lap to start the final 10 laps of the Dutch Grand Prix. So Slash will lead away again. I wonder if he's going to go at the same place or go a little sooner than expected. Not exactly sure. Oh, and 5-second time penalty with Hyped and Chris. I think Hype got that 5-second. That's not going to help his race. As here comes Slash. He's going to go now. He goes now. And he got a pretty good start off of Wagon. Giro got a pretty good start as well. As we have the Red Bull coming into the pit lane, maybe damaged due to that 5-second penalty. Jarno and El Piloter having a great battle as well. Jarno trying to get that move on the Williams driver as soon as possible. The two drivers, remember, in that hunt for the championship as well. Chris also in that fight, and he's P6, but he is on older compound tires. El Piloter trying to go around the outside of the Haas driver, coming down into turn 4, exit turn 4. El Piloter gets ahead, and that was a brilliant overtake. He had much more speed. He tried it around the outside, and it worked out. That was really good. And now Jarno has got to try and do it as well. Let's see what Jarno can do. He's very quick. We know he is. He's got the pace to be able to make that overtake on Chris. Chris has got really good defending skills as well, as Robin is going to try and make that overtake as well. Robin trying to get in the mix, as Luca and Robin, I think, make a little bit of contact there. As, oh, what happened to Wagon? Wagon down to P5. Something happened to the Ferrari driver. Not exactly sure what happened, but he has lost a lot of positions there. He was in P2, now is down to P5, which is going to severely hurt his Grand Prix, as Jarno is going to try and send it down the inside on Luca. That was a good overtake. Jordy trying to get back into the action as well. Jordy's back in the action, and he's going to try and make that overtake on not just Luca, but Jarno as well, coming down to turn 1. Who's going to make that overtake? Here goes Nick Kenjin down the inside on Robin as well. Luca and Jarno side by side, a little bit of wheel baning there. But wow, great overtaking here, great action. This is absolutely incredible. Riding on board with the Alfa Romeo of Luca. He is just separated by around 3/10 to both cars. As Jarno goes wide, Jordy might have the opportunity to make the move on the McLaren driver. Jarno goes a little bit wide. Jordy's got fresher tires, remember, so he's going to be on a faster, he's going to be in a faster car with those faster tires. So this is going to be working out for Jordy here. As we have the Haas and the Alfa side by side. And we also have El Piloter trying to go for the move on the Ferrari of Wagon. Oh, and the Haas of Chris is going to try and send it down the inside. And Luca, it worked out. That was good. That was really good from Chris there in the Haas. He keeps P7 in today's race. Oh, and in contact between Jarno and Luca. Jarno's got wing damage now. DRS is now enabled in the meantime. But yeah, Jarno and Luca contact. What happened there? I am not too sure. But Jarno coming into the pit lane, it was looking really good, but now it is coming down to a very disappointing end for Jarno, as it was looking so good. He just had some really unlucky moments, I gotta say. But he'll come back stronger at the next one. Luca out of the race. He is retired in the pit lane. Jarno still in P11. It was going all so well until that drive-through penalty, and then it kind of just got from bad to worse, and now he's going to be down to P12, which is incredibly unfortunate for the McLaren driver, but that's how it goes sometimes in racing. Sometimes there's unlucky moments, sometimes there's not so great races, sometimes there's great races. That's just how the sport is. So we're now on lap 29. Slash started on a pole, currently leads the Grand Prix by 1.8 seconds to Giro in that Alfa Romeo, and I'd say almost every race, Giro is also, he's always been in the hunt for a podium. He's always been there. He's going to be possibly grabbing another P2 in today's race. He's going to have to defend a lot, though, from Ruben, who is coming in fast. And Ruben needs some good points if he's going to be able to possibly challenge LP Lothar and take the lead of the championship in today's race. And it's definitely possible for him to do that. I think if he overtakes... I think if my calculations are correct, and they probably aren't, but possibly, as we have Wegan and LP Lothar side by side. If Ruben stays in P, if he overtakes LP Lothar, who's side by side with Wegan coming down into turn 9, if Ruben gets up at the P2 and LP Lothar stays in P6, I do believe Ruben will take over as championship leader of the F8 championship after the Dutch Grand Prix. I'm not exactly sure though. Don't quote me on that. I'm probably wrong, but we'll see how that all works out. But I think LP Lothar is going to want to keep that championship lead, and he's going to get up into P5. Barely he does. He gets ahead of the Ferrari, and there goes Chris on the Ferrari as well. Chris trying to make the move on the Ferrari driver. He's made a lot of overtakes in that particular section, and it's going to continue on. Chris is going to try and send it down the inside of the Ferrari. Wegan keeps ahead for now, but Chris has got the DRS, and he's going to have that opportunity to make the move on Wegan. He's so close, but Wegan's got DRS as well. Chris will have to engage the ERS as well, and the raw speed of that Haas car coming down to turn 1. Chris gets ahead. Wegan trying to come back at him, though. Robin West in the fight as well, but Chris keeps ahead. Chris got the position. And Robin West is going to try and make that overtake as well. Round the outside goes the Aston Martin driver trying to get the better exit out of that particular corner. Robin right behind the Ferrari. Chris gets ahead into P6. Meanwhile, great overtaking between these three drivers. It is absolutely phenomenal. Robin was a little bit too late on the brakes, and he's going to lose a little bit of time to Wegan there. And Jordy in the fight as well. That Mercedes driver is trying to get into the battle here for P6. And let's find out if he's going to be able to keep it going. Ooh, gets very close to the Aston Martin. Keeps ahead, though. And this is just great racing between all these drivers. Robin going for the move. Down the inside he goes. No, he backs off. He does back off there. He looked for the overtake, but did not do it. That was a smart decision from the Aston Martin. He knows that he can probably get it into the DRS zone on the straight. And he's going to try and go for it, and now he's right on the back of the Ferrari, going to the inside line before the DRS is even enabled. He's going to go side by side with the Ferrari down to turn 1. Jordy's going to possibly try to get in the action as well. Robin down the inside on the Ferrari. Jordy right there as well. This is almost a three-way battle and a three-way fight for P6, or P7 actually. Robin gets ahead. Jordy P8 now. Robin now into P7. And the big loser of today's battle here is Wegan, unfortunately, who's going to be down to P9. I think those softs really aren't working out for him right now. It was looking really good, but I think once that second safety car came out, that really hurt his Grand Prix, which is incredibly unfortunate. So we also have Aussie on Ruben. Aussie going for a podium here. His second podium it would be in PSGL. He got a podium in Austria in his debut race, remember. And he has proved to be very competitive and very well-driven driver, I guess. He has done an incredible job in the past couple of races that he has been in Saudi Arabia, or in Austria, in Saudi Arabia, in Belgium as well. In here today, he has proved to continue that pace as Ruben is going to get ahead of Giro. Ruben into P2, Giro down to P3 now. Jordy, meanwhile, gets ahead of Rob, and keep an eye on that battle on the mini-map. But Giro and Ruben switched positions there. Aussie trying to get in the battle as well. LP Lothar on the soft compound tires, trying to get into the action. And he'll be on fresher compound tires, remember, so this will be good for him. But the thing is that Giro is on 19-lap-old medium tires, which is going to hurt his Grand Prix because Aussie's on 13 laps, and LP Lothar on softs on 7 laps old. So LP Lothar is in a really good position here to be able to get into a possible podium, but he's got to make that overtake, and with a DRS train it's going to be very difficult to do so. Aussie's got the DRS on Giro, and I think Giro's starting to lose a little bit of time to Ruben, because Ruben is on the fresher compound tires, so that'll help out Ruben. It won't help out Giro though, because he's going to be under pressure from Aussie, who's coming in really fast here and looking to get that overtake. Going back to the battle for 6th as well, Jordy is trying to make that move on Chris. We also have Nick Kenshin on Robin West. Nick Kenshin got ahead. Robin trying to come back at him, though. Jordy's going to have the DRS. This should be a pretty easy overtake for the Mercedes. He's going to go down the inside, and he's going to get that overtake on the Haas driver. Good overtake from Jordy there. Going back up to the top 5 in today's race, Aussie looked for the overtake, was just too far behind though, looking to get the better traction out of turn 4. He does, but he doesn't have enough speed to make that overtake. And LP Loader knows that he's got to make that overtake as well if he's going to be up on the podium, because he is on the soft compound tires and he is on he has to make that overtake. He's got the speed to do it, but the question is, can he make that overtake with the DRS train kind of forming here? I think he's got to risk it and try and go for an overtake that's not really there, which is going to be really, really difficult for him to do. But we'll see how this all works out. Giro's still within DRS range to Ruben, so that'll not help out Ruben and the rest of the field, but that will help out Giro to keep P3. As Hype now sets the fastest lap of the race, but he won't be getting that point because he is down in P12. And you have to be in the top 10 to receive that extra point for the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So we'll see. Yellow flag, that is Hyped off the track. And is that going to affect the race results? I hope that doesn't. I think he should be able to get out of the way of Slash and the rest of the drivers. We still have 2 laps remaining of the Grand Prix. Anything can happen. We are now on lap 35 out of lap 36, the penultimate penultimate lap of the Grand Prix here in the Netherlands. It is turning out to be an incredible end to this race. So much drama, so much action, and so much overtakes in a track that you don't see overtaking that often. But wow, it's been an incredible race. And Jordy as well, up to P6 after a difficult, I'd say medium or a middle part of the race. It was going on so well in the beginning, then the middle part didn't really work out, and he's made a pretty good recovery drive up to P6. Kind of like a similar situation to his Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, where the start went really well, and then I think the middle of the race didn't really go really well for the Mercedes driver, but now he's back into the hunt for a top 5 position. And another thing I quickly want to mention as well is that this race has not seen a single penalty so far, a single time penalty, or like exceeding track limits penalty, as Giro gets ahead into P2. He got the DRS on Ruben. This is the only opportunity for any of these drivers to make an overtake. Aussie's going to send it down the inside on Ruben there. That was late, but it was brave from the AlphaTauri, and LP Loader is now going to be going for the overtake as well. They're side by side coming down into turn 8, turn 9 now. The two is side by side. They paint wheels, but the Williams keeps ahead. LP Loader gets up into P4 now, and if he's going to be able to get up on the podium, he has to make that move on Ruben if he's going to be able to get into second position. There's only one DRS zone to go, and we'll find out who is going to be up on the podium here. Giro going for back-to-back second places for the Alfa Romeo driver. We will find out if he's able to do that, but the battle really is between 4th and 5th really, but I don't think that's going to change. I think this is how it's going to end up. The top 5 will stay the same. I think the grid will stay the same. Slash comes around the final couple of corners. If I'm not mistaken, he has not won a race yet this season, but he does it today. Slash wins the Dutch Grand Prix here at PSGL. He takes his first win this season. What an incredible job. It is pole to the win. Slash wins the race on 23-lap old medium compound tires. Giro, a sensational second position. Another second place. It is back-to-back second places for the Alfa Romeo driver. Great result for him as well. Ruben up on the podium. He finishes ahead of his championship contender and gets him closer in the championship fight to LP Loader. LP Loader grabbed P4 as Jordy was given a 20-second time penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. I do believe that is a glitch, but I'm sure he'll get that removed, so I think he'll finish in P6 in today's race. But here is your winner. It is the Williams driver Slash. He has done an absolutely amazing job. Pole to the win. It has been a very, very good drive from the Williams driver. It didn't really work out at the start of the Grand Prix. He lost the position to Jarno and Jordy, but he was able to take advantage of the situation, was able to make some good overtakes. He made that overtake on Jordy. And then with Jarno having that drive-through penalty, he took advantage of that and was able to get P1. So fully deserved by Slash. He grabbed pole, and now he's going to grab the race victory for Williams. It has been a great race by him. And Slash, he's going to do it. He's going to win the Dutch Grand Prix. An incredible job by Slash. A second win for Williams as well. Driver of the day goes to Slash's teammate, El Piloter. He did do an amazing job today, so fully have to agree with that. He grabs P4 in today's race. Williams won in Saudi Arabia. They win 2 races later with Slash. He is the race winner of the Dutch Grand Prix. Giro P2 with Ruben in P3 for Red Bull Racing. A great job to all podium sitters. El Piloter and Aussie tried to get up on the podium as well. Both drivers were so close to getting that podium, but eventually we're just a few tenths of a second away from grabbing third or second position. But wow, absolutely incredible race. Here's the results for the Dutch Grand Prix. Slash is your winner. He started on pole. He finishes in first position. We asked the question in qualifying. He grabbed pole, but can he continue to lead the Grand Prix? And he did. Giro finishes in P2 for Alfa Romeo, with Ruben in P3 completing the top 3 in today's race. El Piloter from 10th to 4th. Great result from him. Aussie P5, 9th to 5th. Great result by him as well. Chris, P11 to P6. I think he'll be happy with that one. With Nick Kenshin in P7. He is going to grab some great points for Alpine. Robin West in P8 for Aston Martin. Wegan had those softs that didn't really quite work out for him at the end of it. He's going to finish in P9 with Jordy in P10, but I think he might get that 22nd removed, and I think he could get up into P6, and that'll give him a few more points in today's race, which would be great. So that's that. That's the Dutch Grand Prix. That's the results. We're now going to get the 3 drivers in for an interview real quickly. And we will see if we can quickly get that interview. So what you're going to see real quickly, guys, is a blue screen. That's just me inviting the players into the party chat so we can get them in to do a quick interview. So give me one moment, and then we'll get into those interviews and then end off the Grand Prix. Alrighty, so I think we are just waiting for everyone to get in. I do believe we had Ruben jump into the party. Ruben, if you can hear me, please make sure to have your settings set so we can hear you on our YouTube channel here. It should be a setting that says always allow. If you can just turn that on real quickly, that would be much appreciated.
Yeah, it's on with me already, so yeah.
Awesome, thank you so much. We're just waiting for Giro and Slash to get in, and then we'll start off with the interviews. I'm going to quickly ask them if they can join. So just give me one moment, and then we'll get in. And also, viewers, I have no idea why we're stuck in the loading screen now, or the race results. So that's okay. We'll do the interviews here. It's all good. And actually, while we're waiting for Slash and Giro, let's start off with Ruben, and we'll start off with your race. We'll do your interview first, since you did finish in P3, and then we'll go up the order like that. So, Ruben, how did your race go? Just talk us through how your Grand Prix went. We know that you are fighting for the championship with El Piloter, and I do believe Yarno as well, and a few other drivers. So, does P3 mean a lot for you in today's race?
It really does, because I was I think last at the end of lap 2, so Yeah, I was at lap 2. I was like, this is not going to go so good. So yeah, it's P3 is is mind blown basically.
Yeah, I mean, you were able to get up into P3. You finished ahead of both your championship contenders, which is great to see as well. So yeah, really impressive stuff today. So how did your race go? I do believe, where did you start? You started P4 in that race. You pit quite early on. So just kind of talk us through how your entire race went.
Yeah, because I pitted quite early. It was because I got damage on lap 2. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but I had to head to the pits, get some mediums on, and I had very strong pace. I have the no dirty air for a car ahead, so that's fine. And a safety car came out, was very nice for me, and I just boxed for another set of mediums, and yeah, just drove to the end from there and got a decent result, basically.
Well, yeah, I mean, you had an impressive drive. It sounds like it worked out, you know. You had some great points in today's race as well. It sounds like it worked out. So, yeah, congrats on P3. Congrats on the podium. I'm just going to ask you one more question, and I'll let you go and enjoy your rest of the day. What are you feeling about the Brazilian Grand Prix? Interlagos is coming up next.
Oh, Brazilian, yeah. It's a super nice track. I absolutely love it. It's very difficult because you need to have the DRS all the time, otherwise your race is ruined. So yeah, we'll be excited for that one.
Well, all the best for the next one and the rest of the season as well. Also, good luck on the championship. I know you're in that hunt for that one, so good luck on that one.
Thank you very much.
Of course. All right. Well, let's move into our second place finisher of the Grand Prix, Giro in the Alfa Romeo. My friend, you join us in the commentary box once again. It has been, I think you've had, how many podiums have you had this season? Maybe 3 or 4?
It was a lot of times here after in the interview, but actual podiums I didn't had a lot because of penalties after the race.
Oh, really?
Something. Yeah, and it will be again today because apparently I had a qualifying ban and I drove in the qualifying. So yeah, I don't know what that means, but probably a disqualification or something. But yeah. So, but at the moment I'm P2.
Yes, you are P2. You joined us in the commentary box to do a quick interview. Just talk us through how your race went. You grabbed another second place. I do believe that is back-to-back second places as you grabbed one in Belgium last time out. So you started P6, you finished P2. How was your race?
Yeah, this time in Belgium I felt quite fast, and this time I wasn't too fast. I also always struggled to stay in the DRS of the cars ahead. But then I just benefited from some incidents ahead. And so, yeah, I just got ahead slowly. And then I had an incident with Robin West, spun around but didn't lose too much time. And luckily not too much positions. And then the safety car came out, so I could just gain all the lost time back. And surprisingly, a lot of drivers pitted under the safety cars. I think there were 3 safety cars, and always a lot of drivers pitted. And it is very difficult to overtake in the Netherlands, especially if there are DRS trains. So I always stayed out. I knew the tires will last easily until the end. And yeah, at the end I also had, I think my pace increased through the race. Maybe my setup was better on lower fuel conditions, or I just developed I developed my driving. And yeah, I could snatch away P2 from Ruben in the end. So yeah, that was nice.
Yeah, well, congrats on the results. You drove a very good race. Thank you so much for telling us how your race went. It sounds like it went good. You know, you were able to grab P2 for now, of course. So, yeah, whatever happens in terms of the penalties, really well deserved on the P2. You drove a very good race.
Yeah, thanks.
Of course. All right. Well, let's move into our winner of the Grand Prix, our pole sitter, our winner, Slash. Welcome to the interview section here today for the F8 Championship. What an incredible drive you did today. P1, I do believe this is your first win this season, if I'm correct?
Yep, first win.
Awesome. Well, congrats on first position. You really do deserve P1. So you grabbed pole position, and you continued to lead the Grand Prix at the start. You did lose P1, but you were able to get that position back. You overtook Jordy, and were able to get up into first position. So just talk us through how your Grand Prix went.
Yeah, getting pole was like really nice. I did my PB for that session, so it was really nice to do it in the wheel thing. And then on the start, I had a little bad start. Had a snap of understeer on the start, and then Yano overtook me. And then since he went wide, I had to go wide as well, otherwise I would have made contact with him. So Jody overtook me. I knew Aki was able to overtake Jody because he wasn't that quick initially. But the problem was Yano was really rapid. So if he hadn't gotten a drive through, I think I would have not gotten this win. So I was quite lucky for once, since luck is never on my side most of the time. So yeah, and then the safety car came out. Me and El Piloto were both 1-2 at the time, and things were going smoothly. But on the final safety car, it really didn't help because my teammate pitted, and at the time it was good, but since Netherlands was like such a heavy, such a track where you really can't overtake, it was difficult for him to come back. But luckily he came back P4 and I got P1. So all in all, it was a good race for the team.
Yeah, really good race for the team. Both cars in the top 5, as you mentioned, and a win, which is great. Great points for your teammate as well in that fight for the championship. So, yeah, really good job on today's race. P1 in the Grand Prix, pole position as well. You really showed that you had the pace here in the Netherlands, so congrats on that. So, one more question before we sign off here. What is your thoughts on the upcoming race in Interlagos? Are you excited for the Brazilian Grand Prix?
This is the best track for me. This and France, which France already passed. So this is like a good chance for me to get another win. Hopefully, if I have the pace. So hopefully, I do well, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, all the best in the next race and for the rest of the season as well. I hope this is the first of many wins, not just for this season, but for your career in PSGL. All the best, and hope to be seeing you in the interview box once again.
Thank you.
No problem. All right. Well, let's move into, I guess, the end outro of today's race. That is going to conclude things here at the Dutch Grand Prix. This was round 9 here in PSGL. That's the results on screen as we head into the next race in Brazil. As you guys have probably heard from all the interviews we've been talking about, Interlagos is coming up next. We are getting ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix round 10, and then we'll just have a few more races to go before we end off season 30. So thank you so much for joining us for the Dutch Grand Prix. I've been Formula Jonah, your commentator for today's race in F8. I will join you guys for the next one in Brazil next week, same exact time. So I'll see you there. Peace out.